Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. For the last time this week, it's Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's your number one tennis betting podcast and your YouTube show, brought to you in association with Bet Rivers. I'm Nigel Seeley. And as you can see, I'm still over in Athens for the ATP Tour event, heading home tomorrow. Was at the tennis yesterday, watching Novak Djokovic win. Played okay, but I think he's got a lot more gears to go into. It's actually our final ATP Tour show of the regular season as well. So joining me on this sad occasion is my senior ATP Tour handicapper is Mr. Sean Calvert. Good afternoon, Sean.
Good afternoon. Anyone else in Athens apart from you?
Not really. As you can see yesterday at the tennis, there's not hardly anybody in the arena, but it did get busy when Novak Djokovic played, I must admit.
I'll bet. I mean, how busy though? I mean, it looks to me like there's literally 5 people there at the minute, and the same yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's a 20,000-seater stadium, and I would say there's probably about 1,500 people in there, maximum, at any stage.
It's more than I thought. I mean, I'm looking at this now. The Kikmanovic is on, and there's nobody there. I mean, I spoke to my friend Nick, and he was saying that the prices are not. Yeah, he's there. Well, I know he's there. I can't see him anywhere, but he is there. He was saying the prices are just like too high for the sort of Greek, the general Greek person. You know, he lives in Greece, and he was saying it's priced very high, and that's perhaps one of the reasons why there's nobody there. But yeah, just look. I did enjoy your videos yesterday in the VIP section. It didn't look very VIP, I have to say.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. That's €200. That is. You get €200.
Oh
you get unlimited.
There was no food, was there?
Well, there was one bloke took the last hamburger, but I did have a little bit of chicken and some beef before as well. But they didn't bring new food in for the evening. But they had a nice couple of glasses, only beer and wine. That's all you could have, and soft drinks, obviously. But there was nothing else.
Magnus?
Beer and wine. No Magnus, mate. No Magnus. But it was all right. It was good. It was good. It was a good day yesterday. The tennis was quite good. Novak Djokovic match was interesting. I went on the overs, and I thought that after set one, he might have been all right. But he Tabilo didn't play well in set number 2. He was really frustrated with himself. He thought that he could beat Djokovic, but I think this tournament needs Djokovic in it big time to get people to sell tickets. Really no one's going to go to the final. I'm telling you.
I was thinking this. I was thinking, because it's somewhere I want to go next year if it's still on. I was thinking if maybe Djokovic is retired by then, which is possible. I mean, who's going to be there? I mean, without Djokovic, let's say he doesn't play, either he's retired or he's just not playing for whatever reason, saving for the tour finals or whatever. Who's going to be there? I mean, there's nobody there now.
You and Nick.
So I think that will do me, actually. I mean, it suits me fine. I can just sit there. I've got the whole section to myself. That's perfect for me. But it's not a good look for the ATP Tour, is having literally nobody there.
Well, anyway, the reason why we're talking in detail here about it is because we haven't really got much into way of live betting for tomorrow here in Athens or in the tournament in Metz. No. Unfortunately, we've only got 2 matches at this moment in time to talk about. We did have to say, obviously, on the podcast before yesterday, we've had some comments in the group saying, why don't we record a little bit later when the matches come out? But it's impossible because the time difference between us and America. We have to wait for the odds to come, and obviously we've got Champions League shows this evening. So unfortunately, this is all we've got, 2 matches. But the first match does involve that man we're speaking about. It is Novak Djokovic. It is an action against Nuno Borges. He's a heavy favourite at Bet Rivers, -$6, 4-1 for the Portuguese star Borges. Spread here is 4.5, and the total is 21.5. It looks slow as well, Sean. That's one thing. The takeout for me of the court yesterday looks slow. Slow to medium. It's not fast, not quick. It's a slow indoor tournament, which has been factored in. I feel that to win it for Novak Djokovic. I said about him at the start of the tournament, he was plus 120 with Bet Rivers this morning. I worked out his mathematical route. I can't see him not getting to the final, and I make him an even money shot. But I mean, this is a match he should be winning.
I think it depends on physicality. You probably watched this a bit more than I did yesterday. I saw the first set at Tabilo, and the early part of the second set I saw as well. He looked absolutely done in the first game of the second set. He managed to. It was juice at one stage. I don't know whether Tabilo had any break points or whatever, but once he'd wriggled out of that game, he wasn't too bad. But it's just the physicality element that would worry me about Novak Djokovic. He always looks absolutely exhausted after one set these days. That's what would worry me. I mean, Djokovic revealed a couple of things yesterday, didn't he? Firstly, that he lives in Greece now, which is, I'm guessing, that's probably why there's suddenly a tournament there. And he also, I think he was talking about the tour finals. People were asking him about that, and he was saying that he wasn't committed to it at all, was he? He was saying, well, maybe I'll play. Well, I've not decided yet. Well, ask me at the end of the tournament, so that's a little bit strange. But he looked gassed after set one against Tabilo. If Borges can make this a physical affair, then he's got a chance. But if not, then no. I mean, if you look at what Borges has done on indoor hard at main level all time, 40% win rate, service points won and return points won, total of 98, and he's only winning 31% of return points, and that's a problem that he has when he plays the better players. His return game isn't good enough when he plays the best. He does struggle to win return points against the best players. Against the current top 10, all the matches he's played, he's only won 32% of return points, which is very similar to his indoor hard all-time record against all players. So it's an issue for him, and there's nothing in his results and statistics trends that suggest that he can win this match if Djokovic is fully fit. I mean, Borges against top 10 opponents so far in his career, that's opponents that were in the top 10 at the time of the match. He's won 1 and lost 15. And the one he won was against Casper Ruud at the French Open. I think there was a problem with Casper Ruud that day. So very unlikely to beat a top 10 opponent based on history. In those matches, he's won 5 sets and lost 34. So it's not like he's been losing close ones. He's been getting beaten straight sets pretty much every time. And the other side of the coin, of course, is Djokovic doesn't lose very often against players ranked between 40 and 60 in the world, which is roughly where Nuno Borges is. It's where he is at the moment. His only loss in the last 5 years to players ranked in that range was against Menchik in the Miami final when Djokovic had problems with his eyes. He tried to not use that as an excuse in the end, Djokovic, but he didn't. His eyes looked extremely painful. That's the only time he's lost in the last 5 years against this sort of ranking. And if we look at what he has done in a little bit more detail against players in this sort of rank, because there's no previous head-to-head, these guys have never played. So 10 of the last 12 opening sets that Novak Djokovic has played against players ranked between 40 and 60 in the world ended either 6-1, 6-2, or 6-3. The other two went 7-6. So pretty much Djokovic against this level of player is pretty likely to win the opening set 6-3 or 6-4. That's where I would go here. It's not the easiest one to bet on. That is a plus 140 chance with Bet Rivers that Djokovic wins at either 6-3 or 6-4. That's probably the way I would go. The money line Borges, it relies on Djokovic not being fit. That's the bottom line. Djokovic minus $6. Yeah, again, not for me, really. You kind of need to have a look at it. Possibly, if you were going to take a punt on Borges, I'd perhaps wait. If he loses the opening set, it'll be a very big price. And then, if he can perhaps wrestle the second set away from Djokovic, then he might have a chance to win it on fitness in the third. So, yeah, that's all I've got for this one. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a fabulous betting affair.
I was watching him very closely yesterday, and I agree with you. I think he was absolutely exhausted, done in. But the one thing I would say, he played really well the second set. The first set, Tabilo had his chances and could have won the match, could have taken that set. He played well, and he was getting frustrated as well, Djokovic, which I've never really seen him. He's at 250. But I would argue that I think he wants the matches to get himself to the best shape he can possibly be to get into the Tour Championship. So the first set was a good test, a 7-6 match. I was quite inclined to go for the over 21.5 games at minus 120 again, because I think he may make it competitive again in set number one, and then Djokovic comes through more. But I just feel that he might be wanting a little bit more, wanting to play some games, and I think he'll get better as the tournament goes on, because he hasn't played for a long time. So you've got to factor that in as well, haven't you, really?
Yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it, for Djokovic? If you're Novak Djokovic, you think, yeah, there's that element. He wants matches on indoor hard, and he hasn't had them. But he doesn't want too much, you wouldn't have thought, given the state of his physicality these days. So he's got to tread a fine line. I mean, it could be a problem for him if this goes 3, because Borges is, he can be a bit of a grinder. And if this goes a long 3, then he's got, just looking at the draw, next match would be, well, possibly Yannick Hanfmann. No, sorry, that's going back to the next round, isn't it? Hanfmann, Capriva, Nakashima, Giron. Nakashima or Giron could give him a decent match on their day. But yeah, I mean, he should be getting to the final. It's just a question of whether his physicality will allow him to. and whether that's in his plans, because he's been very cagey about what his plans are. It's a little disrespectful, actually, I might suggest, of Djokovic to sort of say, well, I'm not telling you whether I'm playing or not, because it affects other people. It affects the Felixes and the Massettis and the Bubliks and all these guys. I know he doesn't have to think about that, but it's a fact. If he suddenly turns around in a couple of days or a day or two and then says, I'm not playing, I'm not playing the Tour Finals, and that affects what's going on here as well. Massetti will almost certainly withdraw. If once he's overtaken, well, he doesn't even need to do that. If Djokovic isn't playing, he's in, isn't he? So there's all that going on as well. It's it's a little bit cloak and dagger from Novak Djokovic, and you are guessing on his fitness, because he's the last this year, the last few months in particular, I can't think of too many matches where he hasn't had some sort of physical issues. So yeah, it's difficult with him at this age.
Now, I must apologise again. I'm in my hotel reception. My hotel is bang in the centre of Athens, and I've got the Acropolis just around the corner. So tourists are coming in. We've got buses pulling up outside. There's people in reception here. So if there's some echo noise in the background, I am very apologise for that.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, that's good. There's a groupe of about 25 school kids just coming now to check in to go to somewhere. So hopefully, I know. Hopefully that won't be so bad. Also, it's a tube. All the taxis on strike in Athens today for 48 hours. So there's no taxis anywhere or Ubers, anything. So that's a disaster for me.
How far is it to the tennis from there?
A long way. A good 25 minutes. Well, I'm not going today. I went yesterday, but I'm coming home.
There was no strike yesterday.
No, today, yeah, I was lucky. There's no strike yesterday. You can get a train, but that's a bit more. That's too much hassle trying to find a train. Anyway, we have one other. The action starts.
Do that.
The action starts at 5 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, 2 o'clock local time as well. There will be some more matches. There'll be 4 quarterfinals tomorrow. I bet Rivers will have a whole host of them, but obviously with the time difference, we've had to go early today, and unfortunately, we've only got one match. So I apologise for that. Let's move on to our second match in Metz. There goes the tourist bus going down there. Our second match in Metz. There's only one match again there. Now, I haven't watched any of the tennis in Metz, Sean, so over to you, really, in conditions. But before we talk about Kyrian Jacquet against Cam Norrie, what's it like over there? A bit quicker?
No,
right.
It's not. It's as I said yesterday, it's medium slow at best. Quality stats: 80% holds, 71% first serve points won. It's not a quick court. I would say Athens is a touch quicker, personally, from what I've seen on the TV. But both of these events, they're not particularly quick. I'd say that Metz is slightly slower.
So next match, Cam Norrie against Kyrian Jacquet. Cam Norrie is a heavy favourite here at -350 on the money line. Jacquet is +250. To be honest with you, I know nothing about Jacquet. Tell me a little about him. What's he about?
Yeah, I saw him today. I watched his match against Dan Adid, which was on the second court. By the way, Nick told me that in Athens you can't get onto the other courts. You're not allowed on the grandstand court. Spectators aren't allowed on there.
I was thinking that because I didn't know where it was, and I didn't see a second court. There was no signs for anything. I don't even know where it was.
Well, just in case if anyone's thinking of looking for it, you can't get in it anyway, according to my friend Nick. So, and he should know. He's obviously tried to do it. He's a big fan of going to the practice courts and watching them hitting and stuff like that, and that sort of affects his betting, I suppose, in a way. But apparently, you can't do it. So I'll find out next year. I'll get onto that next year, because that's the sort of thing that will aggravate me. But going back to this one, Jacquet against Norrie. So yeah, the reason I was talking about that is because this Jacquet against Adid match earlier on today was on the second court, where there's very, very, it looks like a school gymnasium. Very few people there. I think there was some people behind the baseline, but that was behind the camera, so you couldn't really see anybody. I mean, he's a decent player. He's got a decent pop on his serve. His serve's not bad. Can hit winners. Kind of a whippy forehand. I'm not convinced that the backhand is a fabulous shot. He does quite a lot of slicing on that side. The double hander isn't that great from what I can see. It's not bad. It's just not fabulous. But he's been in pretty decent form. He had a lot of injury problems last year when he was kind of building up a head of steam, and he's done well this year at challenger level. Won the challenger title in Shenzhen a few weeks ago on outdoor hard. Earlier this year, he won back-to-back challenger titles in India, but he's only ever played 4 career matches at main level. One of those was this spring when he was 2 sets up on Nuno Borges at the French Open this year. Borges ended up coming back and winning that pretty comfortably in 5 sets in the end, but he was a couple of sets up. His challenger stats are are quite promising, actually. Last 12 months at challenger level on all hard courts, 71% win rate and a service points won and return points won total of 105. So that's pretty decent. He's shown he's very, very capable of winning titles at challenger level. Look, the question is, can he step up to ATP level and get some wins? I think he probably can. He's got a decent game. He's got some weapons. He's got some power there. I'm just not sure that backhand will stand up against Cam Norrie's relentless grinding. Obviously Cam Norrie is a left-hander. He's going to make him play an awful lot of backhands, you would think. Norrie does what he does very, very well. It's not exciting. He's not someone you would want to buy a ticket for, Cam Norrie. He's not someone you think, Cam Norrie's playing today. We must get over to that court. He's not exciting. And I did get in trouble for that at Wimbledon when I was saying that to a group of ladies who were queuing up with me to try and get into the lounge on that excessively hot day when it was about 1,000 degrees and everyone was trying to get in the lounge. I was saying, Cam Norrie, come on, give me a break. She was a massive Cam Norrie fan. I said, why? Can you tell me why you're a big Cam Norrie fan?
He's a good-looking lad. These ladies like him. He's a good-looking lad. They don't look at you think he's boring. I think he's British, mate, and he's quite a good-looking, quite favourable on the eye for the ladies.
He's not really British, though, is he? I mean, he's a Kiwi with a bit of South African and the other bit of Scottish.
For those 2 weeks of the year, he's British as far as everyone at Wimbledon are considered. It's Middle England, that is. Middle England for you, Sean.
I guess. I mean, maybe it was that. Maybe she did find him quite attractive. I don't know. I don't know what it was. She couldn't tell me any tennis reasons why she liked him anyway. So, but yeah, he does what he does very, very well. He will have watched that match. I think Jacquet against Dan Adid. Dan Adid was terrible, by the way, but Jacquet was pretty good. If I was Cam Norrie on Cam Norrie's team, you'd be looking at that backhand thinking that's an area that you can exploit if you're Cam Norrie. And he's pretty consistent, Norrie, against this type of lower ranked player. He doesn't tend to lose to low ranked players very often. He hasn't lost to a player ranked this low. I think he's 153 at the minute, Jacquet. He hasn't lost to a player this low in the rankings since Daniel Elahi Galan beat him at the 2020 French Open, so over 5 years. And the other thing I think in Norrie's favour is the fact that the conditions do suit him here. It is pretty slow, bounces quite high for an indoor court anyway. That's Cam Norrie all over. Obviously got to the final last year. His record at this tournament is very, very good. He's won 6 of the 7 matches that he's ever played here. Service points won and return points won, total of 105. 90% holds a serve, which is very high for Cam Norrie, and 64% second serve points won, which is hugely impressive as well. So you can't pick any holes in his form at this tournament. Conditions suit him. I just think he'll outgrind Jacquet. Maybe if you're betting on this one, I'd probably go for. I've not seen the odds yet because this is quite fresh. This one. I'd probably go a bet builder here, Cam Norrie, and to win it, and maybe over 21.5. You combine those two, you'll certainly get a bit of plus money. I think. I can't really say because I haven't seen that particular market yet, but I think Jacquet will give him a decent match. He can be quite flashy, Jacquet. He can light it up a little bit, and we know Norrie's not exactly Mr. Consistent when it comes to winning in straight sets. He has had a lot of battles, and he tends to win matches on physicality. So. Yeah, or Norrie 2-1 would be interesting on the set betting as well, because as I say, he'll probably out physicality, if that's a word, which it isn't, Jacquet in the end. So that's the direction I'd be heading in this one.
Yes, another early start tomorrow in France. This one is 6 a.m. There'll be a whole host of markets available on the Bet Rivers app. You can download the Bet Rivers app. Make sure you get across to the website and have a look at those prices. So that is it, really. The only one thing I will say about Cam Norrie, he's obviously now got into the top 30 in the world. He's moved up the rankings, so his goal probably this week was to make sure he's finished in the top 32. His season could be over. Good form, though. 2 good wins here. Roy Cazot obviously beat Carlos Alcaraz as well last time. Yeah, good. Is it
beat 2 French guys.
Yeah.
This is his 3rd. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. So there is a load of marks there. There is a couple of thoughts, but again, we have to apologise for these matches. They're not the most exciting. That's what we get at the end of the season, the 250s. And unfortunately, the time of recording, that is the only 2 matches that we have. And unfortunately, this is the last Betting Weekly Game Bet match of the regular season. We'll be back on Saturday with the tournament in Turin, the Turin Championships. Will Novak Djokovic be there? We'll wait and see over the next week. Will he go there as the champion in Athens? We'll wait and see. We'll know all that over the weekend as well. I'm flying back to the UK tomorrow. You can follow my adventures in Greece. I've been quite good at in the VIP area around town on our socials at Because We Win. And obviously download the app. And if you enjoy what you're hearing from the shows, you can also get extra tennis content from the team on our newsletter and insider at subscribe for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Finally, we have a bumper cup week coming up. Premier League tomorrow. I'll be recording that with Jack and Dan. We also have extra time, and we also have Betting Weekly live today, Champions League special and Europa League special on Thursday. And also the guys stateside, Doug and Mike, who have been in great form with their daily doubles, cashing a load of them last week, and hopefully continue their hot form into this week as well. Okay, that has been it for the week. Sean, thank you very much. It's been always exciting. I mean, it's I've done these shows in a lot of different. Very fortunate doing a lot of different hotels, but I must admit this is the worst internet connection I've ever had in any hotel, and it's a good hotel. Why do good hotels not have good internet? I just don't get it.
I don't know why you're asking me about good hotels. I mean, I don't.
Well, I know. As soon as I said,
I don't stay in them very often.
Yeah, but you stay in some dives. To be fair, and your internet connection's always better than mine.
I'll tell you. I wouldn't say dives, but they're certainly what you would call potentially budget friendly.
That one in Marrakesh, I was worried for you. I thought you'd been kidnapped and taken hostage somewhere, chained to the radiator.
Which one? This year or last year?
No, last year.
This year or last year?
Last year. When you was in the marketplace, I thought we were going to have to get a GoFundMe account to get you home, but we'll see.
The one I went to this year in Marrakesh, the one that was right opposite the tennis, that's actually an opulent hotel.
Oh, that one was a lot better.
That's pretty expensive.
The one the year before was
Oh yeah, that was
like something from
Indiana
Jones.
It was all right.
It made Rotterdam
what you've got to do is
luxury.
You've got to make sure these places have got good Wi-Fi, or take a sort of local SIM card or something like that. Otherwise, it's although that wouldn't have helped you, would it? Because it sounds like the phone connection's terrible as well.
It's not great. I
don't know.
Anyway, we've done it. We soldiered through. Hopefully tonight, the live show will have no hiccups, and hopefully no hiccups tomorrow for those two minus money favourites. I'm cheering in Novak Djokovic. The tournament needs Novak Djokovic. There'll be the lowest attendance in the history of the ATP Tour if he's not in the final on Saturday. They need him there, and let's see if we can get him there as well. Anyway, that's it for today. We're back on Saturday with a preview of the Tour Championship. Sean, for this week, goodbye. Good luck with your bets. Head across to the BetRivers website, download the app, get all those latest prices on all the matches and quarterfinal day tomorrow here in Athens and in Metz as the season comes to an end.